73-44, an impressive win for the Mark Morris Monarchs here this afternoon. Paul Strophe, and they came out and never looked back. A 23-9 run in the first. Were they up 14-0? I think at one point, or something like that.
I forgot to write it down, but yes, it was a while before the Bearcats broke through. It was at least 10 or 12.
So they would only score 9 in the first, 8 in the second. Their best quarter was the third, where they scored 16, but then came right back with, they scored 11 in the fourth and final quarter. Mark Morris 23, then 13, but then they came back with 18 and then 19 in their final. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players in the scorebook that I have for Mark Morris. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in double figures. So well spread out. They just attacked you from all angles and were relentless today.
Well, yeah, looking at the points per game average, Dietz, Parlin, Olsen, all in double digits, and then Hendrickson close at 8.5. So not surprising that they're all in double digits considering the amount of points they put up today as a team.
No question about that. And other than Plakinger, really no one else could get going for WF West. They couldn't hit any of their outside shots, and they needed to hit They needed to hit 5 or 6 3-pointers in this game just to be in it.
Yeah, they just could not get anything going offensively, and Plakinger got his points here and there and just kind of taking it to the hole, fighting through double teams because no one else could score. But you got to give a credit to the Monarchs' pressure defense, denying those wings, denying those entry passes. They were causing fits for the Bearcats, which is, really put them off balance and they could never recover.
Well, there's where my points went. Okay, let's get to the final numbers here. We'll start with WF West. 18 for Dirk Plakinger. He led the Bearcats. 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Soren Dalen had 11. He was 3 of 5 from the line. Then came Joe Matthews off the bench with 8 points, but 0 for 3 at the line. Gage Brumfield had 2 of 4 at the line. And Seth Hoff with 5. He had a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer. And Evan Torno, 1 point, 1 for 2 at the free throw line. For Mark Morris, leading scorers, Deacon Dietz with 15. Kobe Parlin with 15. Dietz 2 for 2 at the line. Parlin 1 for 2. So they didn't do their work at the line. It was all from the field. 14 points for Braden Olsen. He had 3 threes in there as well. 1 for 3 at the free throw line. Carson Ness off the bench with 3. Rome Hendrickson, he only had 3 in the first half, would score 7 in the second half. Had 2 3-pointers and 2 for 2 at the line. Dawson Morrow had just a solid game there, 8 points. He had 7 points. Check that. 7 points, 1 for 2 at the line. And Jacob Hammond off the bench with 6 points as well. 73-44 is our final score, and WF West with the win. Time now to take a look or name our MVPs. We'll start with the home team. Home team MVP brought to you by Thorbeck's Wellness Center in Chehalis and Trey in South Bend. Strong today, stronger tomorrow, strongest together at Thorbeck's. And I don't know how you get away from Dirk Plakinger here today.
Absolutely. 18 points right on his average, and, realistically, the only guy who could do much of anything for the Bearcats.
Yep, no question about it. Our visiting team MVP brought to you by Pacific Sports Spa in Chehalis. Pacific Sports Spa can get you back in the game in a hurry and is a leader in rapid recovery. Get you in the game ready at Pacific Sports Spa. This one could be a little bit of a discussion, but I'm leaning hard toward Kobe Parlin. Not only with the tie for high points, but just his defense, and he's on the floor, and the hustle and the rebounding. Surprising. You could say the same for Deacon Dietz as well. A little bit of a different job that he did today, sure. But still that hustle and that quickness is there. And then
I think the big difference is, when you think about it, is they both played really well, both played good defense, especially Parlin in terms of that on-ball the point guard early on that was causing fits for the Bearcats. But the difference is he was in foul trouble. So he only had 15, but he probably would have been pushing 20 had he played as many minutes as he could have.
And you know what? I think with his effort, and especially in that first quarter, he had, whatever point total he had of the 23, but how much did he have that took away from WF West.
Right.
He was such a catalyst and got them off to such a quick start defensively that let's go with Kobe Parlin as our MVP. All right, that's going to do it for us here at WF West. Still to come tonight on ESN. Woodland at Tumwater. Josh Kaiser and Keith Clark are going to have that game for you from Tumwater High School. I'm going to head up to Curtis as we got the Curtis Vikings hosting the Kentwood Conks in 4A district basketball. And then we'll figure out what the heck we're doing next week as we get set. So thank you for tuning in. Strophy, thank you for jumping on last
Always
second.
a pleasure.
I jumped on at the last second as well here, but that's what we do when we got to do things. Thank you much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're going to watch it. And we'll catch you next time here on the Eli and the NFHS Sports Networks.